What's up, super players? It's your homie C-Rod, and we got some set 12 in the building. We got Son Goku and Vegeta making a scene, fusing into Gogeta. So we got a black Gogeta leader with the release of set 12, and it's pretty sick. The point of this deck is to fuse into Gogeta and spam out Goku and Vegeta as much as possible. And if you guys like this video and like this deck and want to see this deck in action, feel free to smash that like button and subscribe for more Dragon Ball Super card game content and other, because we're adding Digimon as well. So let's get into the deck profile. In a nutshell, you wanna pretty much activate your Union Fusion, which is the fusion of Goku and Vegeta with equal power. Then when you activate Union Fusion, once per turn you get to draw a card with your leader's auto, and on top of that, when he attacks, he also draws a card. Then you could choose up to one card in your life and add it to your hand as well if you want to self-awaken. This guy is pretty darn good. Then an activate main that you're able to send up to 5 cards from the top of your deck to the warp, and this is key in order to fuse into the new Gogeta, which I will go over in a moment. Then an awakening ability that when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 1 card and switch one of your energies back to active mode and go into dun 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 dun. Look at this beast, Gogeta Fateful Fusion. Look at that. So same auto, Union Fusion, draw a card, an auto that when he attacks you draw a card, and then you're able to send up to 5 cards from the top of your deck to the warp if you choose to. Since it says up to 5, you could just send 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You get to choose. Then an activate main that says add up to 1 card from your life to your hand to choose 2 of your black battle cards with an energy cost of 1 on the field and give them 10k power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So which battle cards are you going to want to do? Well, the fusion cards, which happens to be Xeno Goku, which we are running 3 of. And this Xeno Goku has unique and a double strike, and you could give it that 10k with your awakened leader's ability. But he also has an auto that when your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand using a non-leader card skill, this guy also gains a 10k power till the end of your opponent's next turn. So if they use super combos or anything like that, this guy's a 15k double striker automatically. Pretty darn cool. Then we have the other Xeno, the matching pair, and it happens to be Vegeta Catastrophic Premonition. Now this guy is also unique, meaning you can only have 1 on the field just like the other Goku. He has critical, and when your opponent plays a battle card with energy costs greater than their actual energy, this guy gains an additional 10k boost power. Very, very useful just in case your opponent has those type of decks that just spam things out. So that is Vegeta. Now we're gonna add more 1-drops because this deck is predominantly all based on Goku and Vegeta Xeno, and we got Vegeta Xeno, Vegeta True Fighting Spirit. He has deflect, meaning you could just play him out without having to care about any counter plays. And when he attacks, you could take a life, give this guy a 10k boost power for the turn. Pretty much allows you to self-awaken if you want. But what makes him so powerful is the auto that if your leader is a Black Saiyan card, which it is, when your opponent switches their energy to active mode using a non-awakening skill, they have to warp 1 card from their hand. So this guy on the field at all times is awesome to stop Senzu Bean or stop any offensive play or defensive if they are manipulating their energy. This guy is beast, and we want 4 of these in the deck to fuse into Gogeta. Then obviously we got Son Goku, True Fighting Spirit, also a deflect, also could take a life when he attacks and gain a 10k for the turn. But what makes this guy unique is the auto that if your leader is black, when your opponent activates a counter skill, they choose 1 card in their hand and send it to the warp as well. So if you swarm the field with Gokus and Vegetas, they're going to be warping a lot of cards from their hand if they utilize a counters or energy manipulation. So blue is looking like it's going to get hit hard by this Gogeta deck. So now we're gonna get into the spiciest of the spiciest, the Unison. Oh yeah, I've been asking for a Pycon card. We got a Unison. So this card has a permanent that it cannot attack if you happen to have 2 or less markers on it. If you have 2 or less markers on it, it cannot attack. So you need to stack at least 3 markers on it. And you could give this guy a marker and choose 2 of your black battle cards with an energy cost of 1, and they get 10k power for the turn. So who do you want to target? Well, any of these guys, right? You could target any of these guys. They're all battle cards that could gain that additional 10k until the end of your opponent's next turn, so they're gonna remain pretty powerful, so your opponent's gonna have to deal with them. So this guy's cool. Or a -3 activate main that you're able to play a battle card with an energy cost of 6 with the Union Fusion skill. So what card is that? Well, it happens to be Gogeta, but first let's talk about the fusion card, the rare Gogeta Fearless Fusion. Now this guy's a blocker, and you can also bring him out for 1 energy, 1 black energy, if you activate the Union Fusion skill. And what makes this guy so unique is that you can activate the Union Fusion skill by getting a Goku and Gogeta Xeno with equal power from the warp and sending them to the drop and being able to bring this guy out. That right there is pretty key. Or you could just use it the traditional way by getting him from your hand. And then this guy comes out onto the field, and he has an auto that he removes a battle card on the field, ignoring barrier that's 4 cost or less. And he's also a blocker. This guy's beast, and you get the auto of your leader every time you bring this guy out for just 1 energy. That's why you want to send cards to the warp, so you could always fuse into Gogeta. And talk about fusion, we got SS3 Gogeta Marvelous Might. Now this guy is the same thing, comes out for 1 black energy with the Union Fusion skill. You could also use the cards that are in the warp to fuse and bring out this Gogeta for just 1 black energy. He has barrier, so he's hard to remove, and on top of that, he has an activate main for 1 black energy. You're able to play 1 Goku and 1 Vegeta Xeno with an energy cost of 1 from your drop area or warp onto the field, allowing you to swarm the field with Goku and Vegeta and just obliterate your opponent like that. And then you got Pycon on the field that could also bring it out. This deck is pretty darn clean. So now I added some overrealm cards. So I added this card as an overrealm, Demon God Demigra, True Power Unleashed, because it's just freaking good. Comes out for 2 energies, overrealm 5 or darker overrealm, and it just stays on the field. He warps a card from your opponent's side of the field, and on top of that you draw a card, and on top of that, every time he swings, your opponent has to send 1 card from their hand to the warp. So this is the awesome removal card that the deck really needs. We're running just 3 of those. Then we got Son Goku Saiyan's Transcendence. This card we're only running 2 of in the deck. You're able to bring it out for just 1 energy, and you have a 25k double striker that's able to fuel the drop area as well. And you can only bring him out if you happen to have 4 or more energies, and you happen to have Son Goku Xeno with an energy cost of 3 or less on the field, which you should have because we have a lot in this deck. This guy is just a pretty cool card to have. And if you happen to warp him away, well, you could get him with this card right here, which is a Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits card. It's an overrealm 6, no energy required. And if your leader is black, which it is, when this card is played, you're able to add 1 black battle card with an energy cost of 3 and 7 in your warp to your hand, allowing you to get that vital key piece that you need. Maybe you need Demigra for removal, maybe you need a Goku for that awesome 25k play. Whatever the case is, you could even get Gogeta. This card is really good. Then obviously more overrealm. Let's talk about the overrealm real quick. I added Bardock. It's pretty much like a Nimbus battle card. You bring it out for 1 energy. Overrealm 6. When it's played, your opponent can only attack you with 1 battle card for the next turn. This card's really good to keep you alive. And talking about keeping you alive, let's talk about Power Burst, which is a negate. You could also Sparking 5, activate it, and get a 1-drop from the drop or warp back to your hand, which is also cool because we have a lot of 1-drops in this deck. Then the super combo, which happens to be SS Vegeta, the Prince Strikes Back. This card right here is one of the best black combos. You combo it, get 1 card from your hand under your deck, draw 2 if your life is at 4 or less. This guy's pretty cool. Best super combo without a doubt. And then for some final pushes, I added SS3 Son Goku, Man on a Mission. This guy's a double strike critical, double strike crit, and over round 6, bring it out. And honestly, this guy could just be the additional push you need to go for game. I really like them a lot in this deck, to be honest. And then more overround, this is just for barrier removal purposes. If your opponent has a battle card with barrier on it and it happens to be a very big battle card, you could just remove it with this guy and you have also 25k swing. And you could also fuse this guy with this Xeno Goku, Saiyan's Transcendence, so they could both fuse into Gogeta as well. And the final piece is obviously Gogeta. I'm gonna put Gogeta right next to the leader. Let me put the leader over here. I'm gonna put Gogeta right here. Gogeta SS4 Peerless Fusion. I went with this guy because it's Gogeta. It's a black card, easily splashable, triple strike, draws 2, regenerates 2 of your energies upon being played, and chooses 2 cards from your opponent's hand and sends them to the warp, and 2 battle cards as well. This guy's it's just crazy. So this is my Gogeta deck profile. Let me know if you guys like it. Smash that like button if you guys want to see this deck in action. I've already been playtesting it a lot, and this is the best version I have been able to make. I'm still testing it out, but as soon as the cards actually drop, I'll drop the real official deck. So without further ado, y'all stay super. Always pull up with my Android 18.